Hello guys, welcome back or welcome. If you're new, it's Christian from Emotions in Wine. Today we talk about Campania region, the one I mentioned before. So the link below for the lesser known regions a few months ago. There is also another link about my iconic wine Greco di Tuffo from a top winery from there. Now we talk a bit more about the region and Fiano di Avellino grape, which is the most important wine. The OCG appellation since 22 years, 2003 was granted. So it's a region that is still very underestimated for plenty of reasons, but is amazing. But first, one announcement, there will be soon the holidays, July. So let's say the first part, but around mid-July there will not be videos for a couple of weeks for sure. But we will make new videos there, so new trips. Back to the topic, as usual, two wineries, two wines. I picked two of probably the most representative niche producers. We are talking about both about 8 to 10, 12 hectares. So we are talking about 50,000 maybe bottles, something like that, so small ones. And both considered between the top, located in different points, so in the two extreme west and east of the region of Fiano, and even a bit different soil characteristics and everything. So it will be an interesting tasting. That's why I picked the Salto glasses, not the normal for white wine, because I am expecting, even if they are both unoaked, I'm expecting quite complexity. I will not do next day tasting, but at least I want them to show well in the short period. I will pour them early. I start now already actually. So first, Colli di Lapio, Fiano di Avellino, 23 vintage, 13.5 alcohol. And Guido Marsella, Fiano di Avellino, 22 vintage, 13.5 alcohol. So Lapio is the name of the village, which is considered the most representative for Fiano, but they make also Taurasi there. I will give a brief info, even if you have more about Irpinia and Campania in general in the other video that I mentioned before. So Campania is very important. Besides having also volcanic soils that I love and that are very relevant, but they have different, and then the classic limestone clay as we will see today, and they have different regions in different locations. Irpinia, which is the most famous, the one that we are talking about even today, is inner, not far from Naples, but is near Avellino town and is below the mountain. So it's continental climate, 500, 600, 700 meters. Today we will see even about 600, 700, which is the highest level in Irpinia. So late ripening grapes, so they are harvested in late October, so even the herbs. So many characteristics making it a very incredible place, but for several reasons, as I mentioned already in those videos, still underestimated. I love them. All reds and whites for me are there is a reason why there are 3 DOCG. So Fiano di Avellino DOCG, Greco di Tuffo DOCG, and Taurasi DOCG, that is the red Aglianico grape. So there is really a very important region, and prices are still reasonable. Even today we have some of the top expressions unoaked, okay, but one is aged quite a bit, and they are still in reasonable prices, as you will see. So this serves much more than what we see, even around, and people talking about them, not much, and so on. Fiano di Avellino is historical, apparently from Roman days or maybe even Greek, so even before. Is one of the historical white grapes in Italy. Was a bit lost last century because it's generally low yielding, so some reasons that made farmers uproot and focus on other things. Then end of last century, thanks mostly to Mastro Bernardino family, which is historical. There are two branches. They had two wineries, the family, but they are all relatives. They made a lot for the region. So then with the 2003 DOCG appellation, Fiano became again more important. The problem is that at the beginning many replanted, making average wines. Lately there is more focus because everyone realized that Fiano is the most representative wine there. White, I mean. The Greco I also like a lot. This is aromatic, Greco is a bit less, but Greco is smaller region and is less wow in a way, we can say. Here you can have more top expression. Even in the ratings around you see that Fiano can have much more. So it's really picking up a lot, and many of these wineries, small, were born in the 90s, so with the rebirth of the grape. So the grape is interesting, besides the yielding, later ripening, etc. Flowery, fruity, honey can have, especially after aging. After aging also some nutty notes. Soils are mainly clay limestone, but in some areas there is also some volcanic on top because of the vicinity of volcanoes. Is considered to be very good for aging, as we will discover later. I didn't try, unfortunately, more than a few years older, but some are believers that it has a great potential. Remember, also the altitude, the minerality of the soil, so acidity and minerality are always high, so they favor aging. Of course, you need to have top quality fruit. That's the secret, always. So let's start to talk about the wineries. First, I give a comment on the colors. This is 23, Colli di Lapio, while this is 22. But I don't know if you can note, they are both yellow, intense, let's say already hinting to gold. But surprisingly, Colli di Lapio is a bit more goldish, while Marsella has still a bit of, it's turning a bit to gold, but has a bit of a greenish rim still. So that is interesting because it's 1 year older, but you will understand later a bit. So Colli di Lapio is from 94, mother and daughter. They became quite famous relatively fast. The winery is about 500-550 meters. It's quite high, that location, and as I hinted before, Lapio is very representative for the top Fianos, very elegant, etc. And this winery emerged a lot. They are highly rated. Both of them are very focused on Fiano, but they make some Greco and Falangina both, and elegance is their focus. They are both doing only still aging. This is age, so the vineyards are spread a bit around that 500 meters, clay limestone, age about 9 months on fine lees in still, and then bottle, and then released. So elegance as main focus, already showing it immediately. There is the fruit first impact, some yellow fruit, like peach, and a touch of floral. Has a bit of mineral beside the fruit and the flowers. Here no honey, no nothing. Is younger anyway, 23 also, so here you cannot expect much of those, a bit more from the evolution. So it's quite brilliant, refreshing, even on the nose. So giving also the perception of acidity in the wine. Lapio is in the eastern part of the region. As I hinted, they can make even Taurasi there, so it's bordering Taurasi, while Submonte, where is Marsella, is on the western side. So the other mountainous area on the other side, and the soil is a bit different, as we will see. Yeah, very elegant, very delicate. Even the fruit is delicate, and then the touch of flowers, and then the cool, the mineral, fresh mineral, good length, but sliding easily. It's not even if it's 13.5 alcohol, which is not that usual there. Usually they are more 13, also because of the altitudes, but probably these being small wineries, they have a bit more quality fruit, lower yields, so that's probably the reason. But it's still sliding very easily, and then the freshness and mineral. You have a bit of roundness of the fruit, yes, indeed, but very, very pleasant, even just aperitif. But of course, these wines are amazing with fish, seafood dishes, etc. Campania is famous for that anyway, so that is a natural match. But even aperitif, even with the 13.5 alcohol, because it's very rebalanced by the acidity and minerality. Being continental climate, there is a lot of excursion, so that helps a lot. Then the late ripening in October also helps. And it's changing a bit. Also, decent complexity, some more floral. Yeah, fantastic, fantastic. Really precise, I would say. That is a great definition. Precise in everything, missing nothing. Of course, it's not a big wine, no oak, not age, so it's a regular. Even the price, this is 20 euros retail in Italy, so, but for the value, it's an amazing white wine, indeed. I will do a final round because I wanted to breathe a bit more. Now we start with Guido Marsella. So he was in the construction business with the family, originally from there, and he probably became a firm believer of the potential of Fiano. He considers it one of the very best Italian white wines. So he built the estate in Summonte at 800 meters. So this is really the edge of the farming area in Campania. His vineyards are all about 700. He is focused on Fiano, but nowadays he has a bit of Greco and Palangina too, but about 8 hectares only Fiano, all his own property, and he believes in the aging potential. So there the soil is a bit different, clay limestone below, but on top, as I hinted, there is some volcanic rock, so giving even more minerality. Then high altitude, so even more acidity, so even more aging potential, and his belief is I let it age in still on fine lees for 1 year, and then 1 year in bottle. So 22 is his current vintage out, which is very strange for only still aging. Rarely you find a wine that is working this way. So he's really crazy focused. Another interesting thing that recalls to the video I just released last week in Somlo in Hungary on volcanic, so many common points. He also believes, as Spiegelberg from that video, in late harvest. Of course, as I said already at the time, by the way, the link below if you're interested, something very special. The late harvest can be done only if you have acidity, minerality enough to sustain and rebalance the wine. So you need to be in these extreme conditions of high altitude, acidity, mineral, only in that case, otherwise they become too much around. And he believes that they can age 10 years easily. Yeah, completely different from the other. So, quite far away, more altitude, a bit different soil, completely different style, even if still only still aging. Showing youth, even if he's older than the other. The winery was born in 93, so they are same age, so about 30 years around both of them. So here you have more finesse, more delicate. Even the fruit is more delicate. Still mostly yellow fruit. Less flora here in a way. More delicate fruit. The mineral is marking, but there is less that cool that we saw in the other one. A hint of something herbal also here, like we had recently in other regions. Yeah, there is a hint of herbal is coming out. yeah, this has more. The late harvest make it richer, but it's not overwhelming at all. Of course, here you have a bit more, but still very well balanced by the freshness and minerality. This one is more a food wine. Even the aging and everything brings in the direction. He wants to make an important wine. And the complexity is already showing quite good. So far is one of the very top Fiano. If we consider unoaked, probably is the best I have so far. I tried many because I have been always a fan of this region, and I think of the unoaked, this is the very best because it gives you a lot of things: elegance, complexity, delicacy, but also a bit richness, especially on the palate, and changing. So quite impressive, quite impressive. Yeah, more juicy, but then longer also, consequently, but still finishing very dry, fresh. So fantastic wine for seafood dishes, especially oily, saucy, is amazing indeed. So last round, more fruit. The fruit there is delicate, but here is more delicate in all the flavors and aromas. So a bit more on the slim, let's say, but less complex, less body. So still keep on the floral flower, here no herba. The floral now a bit more or less fruity. And that fresh mineral. Yeah, they are quite different. Both top expressions of the grape in a different way. I love both of them actually. This is easier to drink, the other is a bit more important. So I see them more in different moments, but amazing. Then very nice lasting mouth feel. So very nice, very nice. Back to Marsella. Yeah. Here there is a touch of smoky. Now it's coming out. That is something I love. It is typical of volcanic in particular, but you find also on other soils. But not all volcanics. Basalt in particular. And here we find it also. That is giving a plus that I love. Making it more complex, more intriguing. So the complexity is quite impressive. This is 25 euros. So we are still talking about cheap wines. Honestly, for the quality that they deliver, they are cheap. Yeah, lasting alone. So as said, that bit more delicate, this a bit richer, both amazing, both above 90 points. You know I don't like it, I'm not gonna give, but they are both above, no doubt. Overall, two amazing expressions, top, from different locations with a bit different soils and different winemaking, giving emotions in slightly different style. So one more approachable, more delicate, one elegant but a bit richer also, and with more aging potential. Indeed, this can age a lot, I guess. So probably is a wine that is to put aside and try after years to see how can impress. So amazing tasting. I hope you enjoyed it. Like, subscribe, comment please, and see you next time. Salute!